The Contact Manager is a very powerful feature of the software and acts like a mini CRM from the inside. You can see that there's a lot of information that you can select and walk through, and some buttons that are grayed out. I'm going to walk you through the process of how to activate those and what each of those do here after we go over the main dashboard. You can see for contact records, it shows the first name, last name if we've input that, the date that they were added into the platform, and then the last day that feedback was received. So the contact records are updated by the email address, and if they've left multiple feedbacks, the most recent one will be the one displayed right here in this timeline. You can see the status, and we'll cover what each of these different statuses mean and the definition of them, the star rating, and then the employee, which was the last feedback that we received, and you can see that we can edit that contact record or delete them from the system. You also have the ability to select all, and you can delete large groups of contact records, which we don't recommend because all the feedback and all the information will be lost in those. But say that you accidentally upload a wrong group or something like that, you do have the ability to do that. And you can even expand out the results per page from anywhere from 10 out to 5,000 contact records. Now what you'll notice is that as soon as I deselect or select all, a couple other buttons do populate. You can see that we're selecting 10 of all 40 contacts that we have in the system. We have the ability to delete those contacts if we'd like. And then up top, we had send special notification just when active, which means that we can actually click on this right here, and it will take us to a separate page where you'll see the email addresses that we selected in that contact record audit. And then we can send out a special email notice that we can create. We also have the ability to use the saved email template or the saved emails that we used in the setup section that we can basically send out a special offer or something like that. We're going to deselect all. We're kind of now walk through the top of what each of these means. So add a customer right here is a little plus sign that's different than the quick add. What the add customer does for you is it allows you to basically open a contact record page and manually enter in all the customer information and then start them in the feedback sequence or just upload that contact. The upload cloud here button is the ability for you to upload a CSV file. We provide you a sample CSV file for formatting purposes. We need at least the first name and email to upload that. You can upload up to 500 contacts in each CSV file upload, and then you can choose to send all of those contacts a feedback request, or you can drip those contacts out over a specific date range, anywhere from immediate to basically 10 days out to 20, 30, 60, 90, or basically 6 months at 180 days. And then you do need to make sure that you let us know that you do have permission to email these addresses, you've done business with them, and then you can click on send the initial feedback request process. This is highly important because that's going to affect the status of those contact records. If you don't start them in the initial feedback request process, they're basically just uploading those contacts and that will adjust their status within the system. So speaking of all the statuses, you can see that there's a few in here. We're going to go through the definition of what each one of these means real quick so that you know. So the sequence not started yet means that the contact was uploaded to the contact manager or the software via a CSV file, and there was a time delay selected, which is what I just showed you for the batch to start. So basically, they're going to receive the initial feedback sequence email, but it hasn't started yet because they haven't hit their timeline for them to be active. So if we entered in 10 contacts today and dripped one a day over 10 days, the first contact would basically be in the feedback sequence and the other 9 would be saying sequence not started yet, similar to what you see right here. Not yet invited. The not yet invited status means that a contact has been uploaded or added to the contact manager but has not been sent the initial feedback sequence yet, and it was also not scheduled to be in the sequence when initially added. So what that means is basically you've entered in a name and email address and all the information, but there's no plans in the system and there's no schedule for them to receive the initial feedback sequence. Now this is for maybe somebody that uploads a CSV file or they have a large group. You don't want to send it to everybody, or you want to pick some small groups, or maybe you imported all that data and you want to pick a certain small group to send them to. So anytime you select a contact record, some of these buttons will go active, or you can see that if I select multiple records that aren't necessarily in the same status, it gives me some options. So we talked about send special notification. We've got Mike here that we just added. He's scheduled to be in the sequence, but he has not been started. We have the ability for us in this scenario here, based on this contact record status, to basically start the initial feedback sequence. So we click on this, basically it would switch over to no feedback provided, and it would start that email sequence, the 3 to 4 emails that we would send out requesting feedback from that customer. Now, if you notice here, I select on Jeff, who left feedback back on July 29th, and because Mike's also selected, that goes away because Jeff was already in the initial feedback sequence. As soon as I deselect Mike, the restart feedback sequence button becomes active because Jeff has already left feedback on the same day that he was added in the system, and now we can basically restart the feedback sequence. Now, we normally wouldn't use this for somebody that's already has their status in there because they're going to be uploaded. But let's say that we've got Joseph here, who over a month ago went through the entire sequence and wants to leave us feedback, but he didn't send it to us, or maybe the email got lost or we forgot. We have the ability in this case also to restart that feedback sequence and get that going again for him. Now, we don't recommend that you regularly go in and find all your no feedback provided customers and restart the sequence. What that means is what we're looking to do is take a small batch or somebody that's set up, but you do have the ability to do that. All right, in feedback sequence. So you can select customers that are in the feedback sequence, and once you click off, as you can see here, customers that are actively already in the feedback sequence, we don't have any currently. It will pre-populate that. No feedback provided, so I'm going to click on that. Once you click off the selected status, you'll see that we've got all of our emails of all the customers that have not left us feedback. And in this case, if I want to do that, I can then go back in and restart their feedback sequence. We also have opt-outs. So these are all the customers that have clicked on an unsubscribe link in any email that you've sent out. This is great for exporting email contacts up here on the top left to be able to make sure that they're across all of your platforms, to make sure that we've set them to an opt-out status so we're not sending them any other emails. All right, so that's kind of the top bar and everything in here. So let's deselect all. We've got all our results. You can see that we can actually put out as many contacts per page as you'd like, and you can see all of that information right here, and everything's sorted by the date that they were added into the system. You can also filter down by ratings. So maybe you want to send a special message to your customers that maybe have not left you feedback, or 4 or 5 stars. So we're going to click on 4 and 5 stars. And then when I say click off, it will then pull in my 26 customers that have left us 4 or 5 star feedback. I can select all and send them a special notification if I'd like to. As you can tell, all of these have been in the system for a while, so they actually are valid to be able to restart that sequence as well. I'm going to reset my filter. That button will then go away once everything's set up. I can also drill down to an employee level and see how contact records are leaving feedback for individual employees as well. And that's a little bit different than the reporting dashboard. So you can see the Contact Manager is very powerful. There's a lot of options here, and you can see that there's no way to accidentally do something, because the system knows what status each contact record is, and it will populate the options based on what's available for you and the contact records that you've selected in the software. So you can definitely go in there, add, upload, and go from there, and let us know if you have any questions.